How does the concept of space apply in the Grunfeld Defense? Have you ever wondered how space plays a role in the Grunfeld Defense? This opening has a fascinating approach to space that sets it apart from many others. Let's break it down. In chess, space refers to the control and occupation of squares, especially in the center. The Grunfeld Defense starts with the moves 1, pawn to d4, knight to f6, 2, pawn to c4, pawn to g6, 3, knight to c3, and pawn to d5. Here, white often builds a strong pawn center with pawns on d4 and e4. This gives white a significant spatial advantage at the beginning. White's central control allows for greater mobility and influences the game early on. However, the Grunfeld Defense is a hypermodern opening. This means that black does not occupy the center directly with pawns at the start. Instead, black aims to challenge white's center from a distance using pieces and timely pawn strikes. This strategy allows white to build a strong center while black prepares to undermine it. Black's plan in the Grunfeld is to allow white to create a solid center and then actively attack it. Moves like pawn to c5 and knight to c6 target the pawn on d4 and the overall central structure. This approach means that black concedes space initially but seeks dynamic counterplay. The goal is to strike at the base of white's center rather than trying to establish a large pawn center themselves. As the game progresses, the tension over space leads to complex middle game positions. White may have more space, but black's pieces can become very active, creating pressure on the center. For example, after the exchange of pawns, white might have a broad center, but black's pieces are well positioned to challenge it and create threats. Practically, this means that players using the Grunfeld Defense must be comfortable with having less space. They need to focus on finding dynamic opportunities to attack white's center. On the other hand, white will try to use their spatial advantage to limit black's counterplay and convert that space into a lasting benefit. In the Grunfeld Defense, the concept of space is applied through a hypermodern approach. White occupies more space with a strong center, while black deliberately gives up space to undermine and attack that center. This creates a dynamic balance between space and activity, defining much of the strategic play in this opening.